The 2023 NFL season is well underway, and let me tell you, at least ranking the top 10 quarterbacks of this year is quite surprising. This given that some unknown guys are certainly balling out, while some established stars are pretty much disappeared. But hey, we're just 4 weeks in, so a lot can change throughout the season. Hey, and don't forget to comment down below who you think have been the best quarterbacks of the NFL so far. And so, without any further ado, the 10th spot belongs to Jared Goff. The Lions quarterback was already pretty close from being top 10 at the end of last season, but he took a considerable leap in 2023. Not only did he lead his team to a 3-1 start of the season, but his stats are looking quite solid as well. He currently has slightly over 1,000 yards, while scoring 6 times compared to just 3 interceptions. Goff has this team sitting alone at the top of the NFC North, and the Lions offense seems to be one of the best ones in the league. And that, of course, is in big part thanks to the former Ram, who in my opinion has completely turned his career around over in Detroit. At number 9 is Jordan Love. This guy has been in the league since 2020, but he had to wait his turn thanks to Aaron Rodgers still playing with the Packers. 2023 is Love's first year as a starter, and despite some questions regarding his accuracy, stats don't lie. He's a little bit shy of 1,000 yards, but he has found the end zone 10 times, while throwing just 1 pick in the first 4 games of the season. Love already led an incredible 3-score comeback against the Saints last time around, and he has shown some incredible signs of promise, as well as the presence of the clutch element. Despite currently having his team sitting in second place in the North, Love has been statistically amazing. And you know, winning isn't really a quarterback stat, so you cannot blame the 2 to start on him. And as a matter of fact, that's still actually quite solid. Up next, Brock Purdy. The Niners quarterback has never lost a regular season game in his life. Let that sink in. He was the 3rd stringer just under 1 year ago, and now he has an undefeated record while having some pretty good numbers. He only has 5 passing touchdowns as of now, but he hasn't thrown a single pick. He may not be having some jaw-dropping stats every week, but that's because this Niners team is so incredibly stacked that he doesn't really need to. Purdy has been amazing since the end of last season, and not recognizing him as a top 10 quarterback would certainly be a mistake. And yeah, I know the media loves to hype this guy up, and even though he may be kind of overrated in that sense, he's still pretty reliable and his stats are quite good despite him being surrounded by weapons. So for me, Purdy is without a doubt a top 10 quarterback, and I don't really think there's any valid case to say otherwise. Moving on, we have rookie CJ Stroud. Look, I know he's only a rookie, and yeah, he still has a lot to prove, but being completely unbiased and based on all available stats, this guy has undoubtedly been a top 10 quarterback this season. Stroud is yet to throw an interception in 2023, while recording over 240 yards in every single game, scoring 2 touchdowns in each of his last 3 matchups. Those stats would be amazing even for a 10-year veteran, so we gotta give credit where credit is due. Stroud so far is the quarterback of the future for Houston, and he's having an amazing start to his career. I mean, and this was pretty much showcased in his previous 2 games when he completely obliterated the Jaguars and Steelers, who are no joke. At number 6, Jalen Hurts. He started the season a little bit sloppy, having some solid but unimpressive numbers against the Patriots. However, it seems to me as if he has found some rhythm, and the numbers clearly support that. He does have 3 interceptions in 4 games, but his saved total touchdowns make up for it, especially since some of them have come in crucial situations of the game and not just in garbage time, as some other quarterbacks who, realistically speaking, are certainly stat padding in those scenarios. Hurts has led his team to an undefeated start in 2023, and were him to continue down this path, he could eventually make a run for the MVP award, even though it's kind of a long shot at this point in time. But hey, there are still 13 weeks to go, and Hurts has proven he has what it takes to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, so don't be surprised when his numbers improve even more. Coming up next is Josh Allen. This guy has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for a couple of years now, and when you take a look at his stats, they look amazing. 9 passing touchdowns paired with 40 interceptions and over 74% completion percentage, all while helping the Bills offense score just over 34 points per game in 2023. He does have an issue with turnovers, which is what's holding him back, but if he's able to solve that, Allen is clearly a top tier candidate to win MVP this season. And not only that, but I also believe he can command an offensive capable of winning a Super Bowl, so watch out. I know people have been saying this for years, but I feel like the Bills have a pretty good chance at winning the big game this season, just my opinion. And I know that seems as a long shot, but apart from the 49ers, I would dare to say this is the most complete team in the NFL, and Allen is looking like a dangerous player. Number 4, Kirk Cousins. I bet you didn't expect to hear his name so high, did you? Well, it's time to give Kirk Cousins the respect he deserves. I know this team is currently sitting at a terrible 1-3 record, but it's not his fault at all. Cousins currently has 11 touchdowns and slightly over 1200 passing yards, holding a passer rating of 104.4. It's worth noting that those 11 TDs are enough to lead the league in that category. He's also on pace to get dangerously close to the most passing yards and touchdowns record for a single season. He does have 4 interceptions, which isn't particularly good having played only 4 games. But hey, Kirk has honestly been quite impressive this season, and despite people not talking a lot about him, I think he has undoubtedly been a top 5 quarterback so far. And it may just be an opinion, but stats quite literally back that up. Cracking up the top 3, we have Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't been the Mahomes we're used to seeing so far in 2023. He currently has 8 touchdowns paired with 4 interceptions, which is way lower than the pace he's probably aiming at. However, when it comes to game situations, he's still the clutchest quarterback out there, which certainly gives him quite a boost in these rankings, especially given that his receiving corp is well below average, only having Travis Kelce as a reliable option. But regardless of what regular stats show, Mahomes has still been a top tier quarterback so far in 2023, and even though the Chiefs don't seem as the juggernaut they were last year, I firmly believe Mahomes will have this team fighting for a Super Bowl spot come January. I mean, winning the division doesn't really seem that tough, and Mahomes is just amazing come playoff time. In second place is Justin Herbert. It's mind-blowing for me to see how many people have overlooked Herbert's production. He only has 7 touchdowns so far, but he has only thrown 1 interception all season, all while passing for a little bit over 1100 yards. He currently has the Chargers sitting at 2-2, which is probably the reason why he isn't getting that much attention. But regardless, Herbert has been automatic in 2023, recording a passer rating of over 106, with 71% of his passes being completed. So look, being 100% real here, Herbert is in my opinion a heavily underrated candidate for the MVP award, and through 4 games he's looking as a top 3 quarterback, no question about it. The only reason I don't have him at number 1 is because the guy who has that spot is currently having an even better start to the season, even though he isn't very far away. And so finally number 1, Tua Tagovailoa. I know, he got absolutely destroyed in week 4 against the Bills and Josh Allen, but at the end of the day, his numbers weren't even that bad in that game. Generally speaking, he's been pretty close to statistical perfection throughout those 4 weeks, despite committing a couple of dumb mistakes. He currently leads the league in passing yards and has 9 touchdowns, which have him sitting at 114.4 passer rating so far. Tua hasn't been explosive, that's a fact, but when it comes to production, he's been the most reliable quarterback in the NFL, no doubt about it. He may not be a guy capable of keeping up with shootouts, but statistically speaking, he's making little to no mistakes in 2023, which is mainly the reason why I have him at number 1, despite not being that flashy of a player. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll get to see you on the next one.